Have you ever caught yourself talking aloud when you're alone and then suddenly wondering, wait, is this normal? Because it's not just normal, it's revealing. When you talk to yourself, you're not being weird. You're exposing how your mind processes stress, emotion, and identity when no one's watching. And if you do it often, you probably have these four unique traits. 1. You have unusually high self-awareness. Most people think self-talk is just random chatter, but psychologically, it's often a sign of strong metacognition, which is a fancy way of saying you can observe your own thoughts while you're having them. You don't just feel anxious, you notice you're anxious. You don't just get angry, you catch the moment your anger starts building. And that's rare, because many people live on autopilot. You don't. You narrate your inner world like you're trying to understand it. And here's the key. When you say thoughts out loud, you slow them down. That gives your brain a chance to organize them instead of drowning in them. In cognitive psychology, putting thoughts into words helps reduce mental noise. It turns emotional fog into something you can actually work with. So when you talk to yourself, you're not losing control, you're trying to regain it. 2. You're emotionally intelligent, but you process privately. Some people need to vent to friends. Some people spiral silently. But you become your own therapist. Self-talk is often a form of emotional regulation. It's like your brain is saying, okay, let's calm down, let's make sense of this. You might say things like, relax, think, why did that hurt so much? Next time, don't react like that. That's emotional intelligence in motion, not the Instagram version, the real one, the kind that happens in your room at night when you're replaying a moment you wished went differently. And if your self-talk is compassionate, if you encourage yourself instead of attacking yourself, that's even more powerful. Because research on self-compassion shows that people who speak to themselves kindly recover faster from failure and stress. So if you talk to yourself like a supportive friend, you're not just self-aware, you're emotionally skilled. 3. You have a strong inner drive and your brain likes clarity. Here's something most people don't realize. Self-talk can boost performance. Athletes do it. High performers do it. Even kids do it when they're solving hard problems. Psychologists call it private speech. It helps your brain hold focus, plan steps, and stay on track. That's why you might say, okay, first do this, then do that. Don't forget the keys. Stay calm, handle it. You're basically turning your thoughts into instructions. And that's a trait of people who like control. Not in a toxic way, but in a I need things to make sense way. You're not just dreaming, you're directing. And when life feels messy, your voice becomes your structure. It's also connected to lowering cognitive load, meaning your brain doesn't have to juggle everything silently. You offload it into words, and suddenly you can breathe again. 4. You're socially sensitive and you rehearse reality. Let's get honest. A lot of self-talk isn't about chores or motivation. It's about conversations that already happened or conversations you're afraid will happen. You replay arguments, you imagine comebacks, you practice what you should have said. That's not childish. That's social intelligence mixed with sensitivity. Your brain is scanning for social meaning. Like, what did they mean by that? Did I look dumb? Did I disappoint them? This connects to social comparison theory and rejection sensitivity, especially if you've learned that social moments can be risky. So you rehearse, not because you love drama, but because your mind wants protection. Self-talk becomes a rehearsal room, a way to prepare, a way to feel safe before stepping back into people. Now here's the twist. Self-talk only becomes a problem when it turns into self-attack, when your inner voice becomes a bully, when every sentence is, "You're not enough." But if your self-talk is mostly reflective, calming, planning, or even humorous, then it's not a red flag. It's a sign your mind is active, aware, and trying to guide you through life. So if you talk to yourself when you're alone, you probably have these traits: strong self-awareness, private emotional intelligence, a clarity-driven mind, and deep social sensitivity. And honestly, that combination can be a superpower if you learn to make your inner voice an ally instead of an enemy. If this video made you feel understood, stay close. Subscribe for more psychology that feels personal, because your habits are never random. They're messages.